So, where do I even begin? Let's begin with the who. I'm Lysh, or Alicia, whichever you prefer, but most call me Lysh. I was born and raised in the US, and never really felt like I quite fit in. I grew up a big dreamer, always in my head, preferring the noise of nature and the peaceful solitude it brought over the bombarding energies of suburbia, school, and the parties that my parents drug me to because there were other kids my age for me to play with. I grew up lonely in a very crowded room, the weird one that always stood out starkly. That's not to say I never had friends, because I did, and a few of them will always hold a very special place in my heart. But I don't actively communicate with any of them now. I've moved on into yet another reality, and everything feels like another life, and a distant memory now, one that I can't ever go back to. Now, this me, I'm a self-taught artist, painter, creator, a goddess in my own right, an inspiration to many, even though I don't readily notice it because I'm still a weirdo, lost in my own head. I'm a mom of 3, and after a very intense inner work journey, I am now building a life that resonates with my soul, not a life that was picked out or planned for me. Currently, I am in a building phase, building a podcast, a website, a business, merch, socials, and a community of moms just like me who need a purpose outside of motherhood, writing a book series, and building the foundation of generational wealth, just to name a few. But on the horizon is a much bigger picture that I'm only starting to see. Where I plan on being, or where I should say I'm currently headed to, is a place of peace, creativity, and abundance. My current goals that seem actually tangible are to become a self-published author, have my own space as a full-time artist and creator, making a name for myself as a known nature artist, and build my own little virtual ecosystem to support not only my own family, but help others in need, and give plenty to conservation groups that I support. I want to get my own land and build a self-sufficient homestead with a home for me and my family, and it looks like a coworker and her kids too, so that I have someone on site in case my bigger dreams become a reality. Over the past few years, I felt a silent nudge to be in Canada, but over the last few months, it's become more like an anchored pull that I really can't ignore, even if I tried, which I have. I've tried several times, actually. I see myself surrounded by nature and truly in my own little bubble with my family, creating and living a life I can't even put into words right now. So, how do I plan to get from a mom making less than $35K a year, living in a tiny town home, and working a full-time, normal 9-to-5 job, to a free, self-sustaining woman, writer, and business owner living on a homestead somewhere in North America? Blind faith. Sheer, unhinged, unfathomable, unrelenting, and unquestionable blind faith. Where I'm currently working diligently to finish is my website's first published draft. Now, I've been building and rebuilding and deleting my website for like 2 years now. It's just never felt aligned. So I'd scrap it and restart from scratch just to scrap it again. But over the last few months, something shifted. A block I've had finally dissipated, and I finally made something that resonates. I'm in the process of tidying it up, fixing any loose ends, and aligning the blog page with my plans for YouTube and my podcast. Right now, I'm on track to publish it in maybe about a week, do I dare say? God's be willing, but this is just the first step. I've really been listening and following the divine direction that's been whispering to me, blocking out any noise and concentrating fully on my purpose. This is not the time for anything else, and the calling I feel is deafening. This is seriously all I think about all the time. And once step one is done, I can move to the next one. It's been a while since I've hung out with friends or spent any free time doing anything else besides working in my purpose and focusing on my family's needs. So you might be thinking, like, why would I purposely isolate myself so much? I know, it sounds crazy. I've been in hibernation mode for like 5 years now, when all aspects of my life flipped on its head, and now those closest to me are kind of unfortunately used to it. They don't get it, but they're used to it. And they don't really react like I have 5 heads anymore. But the truth is, I am compelled. As woo-woo as it sounds, this is bigger than me. And I've always known there was something big waiting for me. I've always had this attitude like I can save the world, and I finally just threw up my hands and said, fuck it, I'll catch my breath later. Regardless of how much I was freaking out internally, and now I can feel something building gently in the shadows, like a titan rising from the core of the earth. And it feels exciting, exhilarating, meaningful. But I don't know when things will speed up or come together. I don't know when those on the outside looking in will really see much of a difference. There's a huge gap in the how of any of this, how any of it will happen or be possible, because my head just keeps screaming out all these fears and reminding me that I'm just one single 39-year-old woman in the Midwest of the US with big fantasies and a wild imagination who hears whispers coming from the divine, up from her soul, telling her to do things, telling her not to do things. All I know for sure is that the baby steps I'm taking now feel divinely protected. They feel clear and purposeful and warm. It's like being in a labyrinth, dark and hollow, but there's a light above me, below me, to slow me. It allows me to see what I'm currently doing, but there's nothing but shadows ahead. I come across signs that feel like home along the way to remind me that something unfathomably great is ahead. So I do a task and move forward. Another light turns on in the direction I'm meant to go, and other ways stay dark. I just keep following my path, immune to anything going on in the areas beyond the light. And now, you're here with me. It's not by chance. You're here for a reason, and I'm so happy to have you for the length of time you're meant to be here with me. Don't worry about holding your breath. Just jump in with both feet and dive into this journey with me, and I'll see you next Monday for a progress update and a chit chat about unlearning and how I finally found alignment. See you next week. Bye.